We have a brand new card set for the Ultra Replica Orb Ring that will add dozens of more fusion sounds and combinations. Let's not waste any more time.
It's morphin' time!
Hello, this is Soundout here, and welcome to my review of the Ultra Fusion card special set. This is for the Ultra Replica Orb Ring, which I previously reviewed on the channel, as well as doing essentially every possible fusion with the base set of cards. And now we've got even more cards. What's really funny is this tiny little box looks unassuming, but this is going to provide so much video work on the channel, not only now, but in the future. But anyways, inside is essentially just an extra set of cards for the Ultra Replica Orb Ring. So if you remember, the previous Orb Ring came with about 20 cards. This comes with another 30. And if you remember how long the video was on the original, yeah, we're going to be here a little while. Might as well get cozy. But pretty much all that's included is, an instruction sheet that just tells you what cards you got and then the cards you get. This is essentially a set of cards where some of these were on the original Deluxe Fusion card series release, and then some of them are brand new. So let's go through the cards before we go through the sound effects. And if it feels like I'm rushing, I'm trying to get to the fusions because the combinations available here within this set, as well as with the cards that came with the Orb Ring, it's like 30 some odd combinations, so we really got to get rolling here. But let's look at the cards so you get a baseline of what we're looking at. So first of all, we have the cards that were in the original Deluxe toy line. So we got Ultraman Ace, we've got Ultraman Leo, Ultraman 80, Ultraman Tiga Power Type, Ultraman Tiga Sky Type, Ultraman Dyna Strong Type, Ultraman Dyna Miracle Type, Ultraman Cosmos, Ultraman Justice Crusher Mode, Ultraman Max, Ultraman Nexus Junus, Ultraman Ultimate Zero, Ultraman Hikari, Father of Ultra, Mother of Ultra, Ultraman King. And then all of these cards are brand new to this set, which includes Astra, Ultrawoman Grigio, Ultraman Titus, Ultraman Fuma, Ultraman Trigger Strong Type, Ultraman Trigger Sky Type, Glitter Eternity Trigger, Trigger Dark, Ultraman Tragear, Ultraman Reboots, Ultraman Belial Atrocious, Ultraman Zero Beyond, Ultraman Regulos, Ultimate Shining Zero, Absolute Tartarus, Absolute Diavolo, Absolute Teton, Ultraman with the Brothers Mantle, and Ultraman Justice Standard Mode. And for those wondering if you haven't seen these before, the original product images, these were secret cards. I don't know why they were secret, but they're here. So what we're going to do is go through each card individually in the Orb Ring to do the individual transformation sound, and then we'll go into the fusions afterwards. So buckle up, we got a lot to go through. So let's begin with the individual sounds.
ラッシャーモードウルトラマンジャスティスクラッシャーモードビクトリウム光線ウルトラマンマックス ティターンウルトラマンスペシャルウルトラマンさん55周年おめでとうございます。これからも世代を超えて一緒に平和を守っていきましょう。ウルトラマンスペシャルスペシウム光線ウルトラマンジャスティスウルトラマンジャスティスビクトリウム光線
So what I find absolutely incredible is that there was like a ton of sounds. We had an hour's worth of video last time, pretty much covering the sounds that came with the base package, and then we add all of these. I would say even without the fusion possibilities, which we're going to get into, the amount of sounds you get just from this card set, if you have an Ultra Replica Orb Ring and you didn't buy the card set, honestly go for it, because the amount of value on display here is insane. I already thought this was a good value for all the sounds you get in the base package, and now that I've added this, I not only feel like I got my money's worth of the card set, but I feel like I got even more of my money's worth with the Orb Ring, and we don't even have any Kaiju cards. Technically the Absolutians are, but we don't even have the Kaiju cards because that's coming in the Dark Ring, which is coming out in February, as well as a card set with Kaiju cards in March. The other thing I did want to point out with this is while, yeah, okay, a lot of these earlier Ultras are easier to put into the device because they already existed. You know, this device was probably programmed around the time of Trigger, which is why you have all the Trigger sounds in here. Basically like Reboot, Trigger Dark, and all the forms is because you can basically just use all the Trigger Sparklance stuff. But then there's things like Ultraman Regulos or the Absolutians, which hadn't really debuted. Tartarus had, but Diavolo was in some of it, but Teton and Regulos debuted in the same Ultra Galaxy fight after the Orb Ring came out. So they were really planning ahead with a lot of this, which is really, really, really impressive. They also thought about, you know, making sure things are accurate, because Justice Crusher mode was in the original card line, so they included Justice Standard mode so that we can do proper Ultraman Legend Fusion. So just the selection in this set is incredible. And the fact that even if some of the Absolutians, for example, Tartarus's grunt sound is there, but Diavolo's and Titan's isn't, or Tetons, these two probably weren't cast when they made this, so they just put the names in because the names are trademarked. Same for Regulos. There's no distinctive sounds for him, just kind of generic light sounds because they probably didn't have that ready yet. But will these cards do something in the Dark Ring, because that Dark Ring is going to be after a lot of this? I guess we'll find out. The other thing that I do want to point out is that there is the special card set 2, and that one comes with an Ultraman Decker card. So this was really programmed far in advance, which is just super duper impressive, because Bandai usually doesn't go that far deep into things, and I'm just really, really impressed. So Ultraman Orb has more fusions in the Orb Ring that are Orb forms. You may not recognize these because these were exclusive to the Fusion Fight arcade game, but these are the rest of them. There's all the Fusion Fight arcade game forms plus the forms from the show, which we covered last time. This is going to be essentially the rest of the fusions, which is amazing that we got all the game exclusive fusions in this thing.
ミラクルタイプウルトラマンベリアフュージョンアップウルトラマンオーブサンダーミラクル闇の力を奇跡の光のデーモニウムウルトラセブンウルトラマンエースフュージョンアップウルトラマンオーブスラッガーエース切り裂き闇を光とともにスラッガーエースエッジウルトラマンマグ V2 ウルトラマン光フュージョンアップウルトラマンオーブナイトリキデーター影を払いし光の刃ストライクナイトリキデーターウルトラマンウルトラマンネクタジュネッスフュージョンアップウルトラマンオーブスペシウムストローム受け継がれてゆく魂の絆ウルトラフルバーストウルトラマンティガパワータイプウルトラマンダイストロングタイプフュージョンアップウルトラマンオーブパワーストロング光のゴールに敵はないガルナシウムハンマーゾフィーウルトラマン光フュージョンアップウルトラマンオーブブレスターナイト光の誉れただいま参上ナイト87シュートウルトラマンタロウウルトラマンマックスフュージョンアップウルトラマンオーブストリームギャラクシー宇宙の悪に立ち向かう光ストキシウムダイナマイト
So what I really love is that Orb's voice is still in it for the video game fusions. It's not just, hey, we're going to pull dialogue from the show, but they actually give him the announcement chants as well as the attacks, which is awesome. I'm glad that when they had Guy's actor in the booth recording for this, they just recorded for everything. So next we're going to do the fusion rises for Ultraman Geed. Now, previously we did a couple of these because they were possible with the cards we had in the base set. There's a lot more possible now. However, not every fusion rise is doable in the Orb Ring, at least currently. I don't know if this has sounds for some of the cards that would be missing for Geed forms, but here's the ones we can't do. We can't do Shining Mystic, as we don't have a Shining Ultraman Zero card. We can't do Tri-Slugger, because there's no Amirium Slugger card. We can't do Mugen Crosser, because there's no Luna Miracle Zero card. And we can't do Brave Challenger, because there's no Spacium Zaperion card. And I've tried to stack it where, like, I make Spacium Zaperion or, you know, Amirium Slugger, like, stack them on top of each other. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work through. Speaking of not working, Geed's video game exclusive form for his Zet Riser, we could do Galaxy Rising before, but we can't do the Geed Jack Cosmos Nexus fusion known as Tetrite Cross. It just doesn't work, even though we have the cards. I don't know why. It's just something they left out. But we can do all of Geed's in-show forms and some of his video game exclusive forms, so let's get to it.
父ウルトラマンベリアルフュージョンライズウルトラマンジードランディットトゥルースウルトラマンジードプリミティブウルティメイトゼロウルトラマンネクタジュネッスフュージョンライズウルトラマンジードノアクティブサクシード
So last time we were able to do all the fusions for Rosso and Blue to replicate their forms, and this time we're just adding Grigio to make Groob.
ウルトラマンロッソウルトラマンブルウルトラウーマングリージョウルトラマングルーブ
Next we have the fusion of Taiga, Titus, and Fuma into Taiga Tysterium. There is no way to access Taiga's Photon Earth form from what I can tell. There's nothing there. It would require its own card. But once again, I don't know how far this thing goes, but we can do Tristerium.
ウルトラマンタイガウルトラマンタイタスウルトラマンクーバウルトラマンタイガトライストリウム
Also on that note, I have tried to activate Ultraman Rego using just all the new gen guys, Ginga through Fuma. It doesn't work. I tried it all over the place. I've tried different combinations of the cards. You can't just straight combine them all. I think that if they were to do Ultraman Rego, you'd have to have the final forms of the new generation Ultraman in order to do it, and we don't have cards for any of those. All right, next up, Ultraman Zet's Fusions. We were able to do Gamma Future and Sigma Breaster in the previous video with the base cards. So now we can do Alpha Edge, Beta Smash, and Delta Rise Claw.
ウルトラマン Z オリジナルウルトラマンゼロウルトラセブンウルトラマンレオウルトラフュージョン ウルトラマン Z アルファエッジウルトラマン Z オリジナルウルトラマンエースウルトラマンタロウウルトラフュージョン ウルトラマン Z ベータスマッシュウルトラマン Z オリジナルウルトラマンゼロビヨンドウルトラマンジードプリミティブウルトラマンベリアルアトロシアスウルトラフュージョンシュッシャー ウ
So talking about Zero fusions next, it's kind of weird. We can do Luna Miracle Zero because we have Cosmos Luna form and also Dyna Miracle type, but we can't do the opposite form, which is Strong Corona, because we only have Cosmos Luna. We have Dyna Strong, but no Cosmos Corona. Is there a reason why we didn't get a Cosmos Corona card in the set? It seems like it would be programmed in here. Everything else is. We got 2 forms of Justice, but only 1 form of Cosmos. So I don't know what happened there, but it's kind of a weird oversight. The other thing is Zero did have a video game exclusive form for the Zet Riser using Ultraman 7 and Ace, and that just simply doesn't work in here. It would be nice, but it doesn't. It's just another one that slipped through the cracks. Not a big deal because it's just a video game exclusive form, but kind of an odd inclusion anyways. Alright, so now we're going to talk about all the other fusions that exist. Like, for example, we've got Super Taro coming up, we've got Ultraman Legend, just different combinations of things that happened in series that not necessarily done by a fusion of a device. But there is a couple here for Victory and X that we'll talk about when we get to it. These next couple work with Ultraman Mabius. We have Mabius Infinity as well as Mabius Brave. I haven't figured out Burning Brave or Phoenix Brave. If you have any ideas in the comments, I've been trying combinations of cards, but I think it's just Mabius Infinity and Mabius Brave. Next up we have Zero, Dyna, and Cosmos for Ultraman Saga. The next form is Ultraman Victory Knight with Victory and Hikari. I'm curious to see when we get the Kaiju cards if Victory's weapon forms will be available, but that is to be determined in the future. Next we have X's Zero armor using Ultraman X and Ultimate Zero. This is giving me hope that X will have his Mon's armor sounds in here when we get the Kaiju cards, because listen to what this does.
Ultraman X Ultimate Zero Ultraman Armor Active Ultraman X Ultraman Zero Armor Wide Zero Shot.
So because it has that Ultraman armor activate sound, maybe it has the Mon's armor activate sound. I'm really curious to see what's going to happen with both Victory and X when we get the Kaiju cards. Our last fusion, can you believe it, we're at the end of the list for now, is Trigger and Trigger Dark for Trigger Truth.
Ultraman Trigger Pulse Type Trigger Guard Trigger Truth.
So that does it for the video. I think I got everything in the Fusion Card Special Set as well as what was in the Orb Ring between all 3 videos I've done so far. I think I've covered it all to this point. Now, there is a Dark Ring coming as well as a Special Card Set 2. Those are coming in February and March, and I will be reviewing both of them, so you want to hit subscribe and the notification bell because I'm definitely doing more Orb stuff. Also, be sure to hit the like button and leave a comment down below and tell me any fusions you think might work. I'll say this right away, I did try fusing the 3 Absolutians to see if anything would come of them. Nothing came of them. 2 of them are running on generic sounds, so I wonder if they'll do something in the Dark Ring, because these guys are actually Kaiju cards as opposed to Ultra cards. So maybe they'll work in the Dark Ring better. And in terms of everything that works there, it's probably going to be multiple videos for the Dark Ring, as in what comes with it, what works in the Orb Ring, what doesn't, what works in the Dark Ring, what doesn't, yada yada yada, flipping cards back and forth. So plenty of stuff in the future. But we'll see what happens. In the meantime, be sure to follow me on Twitter, TikTok, and or Instagram, whichever you prefer. And also check out my live streams Mondays at 5 p.m. Eastern here on this YouTube channel, because we discuss all kinds of stuff. I actually opened these cards on camera live during the stream and tried to figure out some of the combinations. So stuff like that happens, so you want to check it out if you don't already. And also be sure to check out Hero Club at hero-club.com for tokusatsu interviews and more, and also my awesome graphic designer on Twitter at darklaw643. And until next time, this is Soundout saying goodbye.